Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, subscribe, like, comment, do all that. It's been a minute. So the last thing I uploaded was my labor and delivery video. That was it was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe. It's been definitely a long minute since I actually had him. He was premature. If y'all don't know, he was premature. He was supposed to be born. His due date was January 21st. He actually came December 11th. So it's been over a month now. He just turned a month on Tuesday, I think it was. The 11th was on Tuesday, I think. So it's been a little minute since I actually had him. And I fucking love it. I love it. Like, this is my best friend. I wake up every day and this is my best friend. We chill together every day. We eat together every day. We do all that together every day. We listen to music together. This is literally my best friend. And like, y'all, when he was born, he was so small. But I'm gonna give y'all, I low key don't even remember a lot of what happened. But bear with me. Okay. We're gonna go from December 11th back. Okay. So, he was born December 11th, 2021. His due date was January 21st, 2022. So let's go back that Wednesday. That Wednesday. Wednesday night, my blood pressure was through the fucking roof. They have been having me check my blood pressure weeks before, like 3 weeks before this day, 3 weeks before that Wednesday. I have been checking my blood pressure because they have been up and down, up and down. It was terrible. I have really bad blood pressure. Like, it was really bad. And I think the week before that Wednesday, they were like, I had a doctor's appointment with, I didn't have it with the OB. It was a high risk OB. I had a doctor's appointment with a high risk OB, and she was like, okay, so from the looks of it, your blood pressure is not doing any better. The best thing for us to do, because he doesn't look like he's growing and everything else, the best thing would be to have him at 34 weeks gestation. And they were like, the next week would have been my 34 weeks. The week that I had him was my 34 weeks. They wanted me to do that anyway. So I'm like, okay, wow. Like, I was shook, like, because y'all don't know. Like, this house, everything was a fucking mess. Like, nothing was done. I'm still trying to get everything together. Like, I don't know. It was just I last minute procrastinated on trying to get everything did. Like, I had the bassinet together. I have started washing clothes and stuff. But after that, I just started going into overtime. Like, I had already started cleaning up and doing everything I was supposed to be doing to get ready for him. But like, I started going into overtime. Like, I'm talking about come home from work because I was still working. I was gonna work up until I couldn't work anymore. I was gonna work up until New Year's, so that way I would have had whatever time after, because his due date was supposed to be the 21st of January. I was going to work up until New Year's. So I would come home from work, I would, take a bath, whatever, and I would just get on it, just clean, just whatever I could do, fold clothes, all that, get his clothes together, separate his clothes, and unpack stuff, and unbox things, and put stuff up. I still, like, it's a mess now, because, like, I'm actually using it, but, like, yeah. I was packing shit and unpacking and everything, trying to get everything together. Like, if y'all don't know, we have this small apartment. Like, it's a 1 bedroom. It's small as fuck. If I had known that, like, literally the month after getting the apartment, I was gonna be pregnant. If I had known that, we probably would have went for like a 2 bedroom. But we didn't know that was gonna happen. So it's what it is. But like, yeah. So it's like no room in here. But what I'm saying is, there's no room in here. And I'm sorry I'm going on a rant. I'm gonna get back to the story. But there's like no room in here, so I'm just trying to get everything together, basically. And yeah, it's no room for everything, so it's like I gotta stack it and do whatever I can do with it. But yeah. So back to the story. She says, "Oh, you're gonna need to. We're probably gonna have to induce you at 34 weeks, which is the same week I had him, the same exact week I had him. But I wasn't supposed to be in. Like we hadn't set a date for the induction. It happened naturally. So I'm like, okay, trying to get everything prepared, like I had said. And then the next week comes. It's Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. It's Wednesday. And I'm thinking I had to go to work that morning. I thought I had to go to work Wednesday morning. So I got up like I usually do at 5:40, 5:50, and went to work. I live like 15 minutes away from my job. So I went to work. And I realized I wasn't supposed to be at work. So I just go in there and talk to the boss, let him know, hey, I'm going to have to, this is going to be my last day because they're going to induce me and I'm going to be out for a little minute. I'm going to be out for the rest of this month. And she's, talking whatever, trying to tell me shit, you know. So I go back home, like my head had been hurting since Tuesday night. And I know when my head starts to hurt, I knew like every time I had like my blood pressure was super high, I would have a really bad headache. I wouldn't feel good. But, me trying to get everything done, I was still trying to work through the headache. But when I got back home, it was like 7 o'clock in the morning when I had actually got back home. Because I had stayed up there with her for a little minute and talked to her. And then I got back home at 7. And I went to sleep. I laid down and I was trying to go to sleep. I took 2 Tylenol, because that's what my OB had been telling me. She was like, okay, if you're having headaches, take something for it. And then if that don't help, then go to the hospital. So I took 2 Tylenol for it. And I laid down. So I laid down, got up. Then I got up later on in the day. I feel a little bit better, but it was like still a slight headache. But I was trying to ignore it because I was trying to get everything done. So I did that. I got up, and then just cleaning up the whole day. The whole day went by. Mind you, this is Wednesday. I had him on Saturday. So the whole day went by. It's like now it's nighttime. It's like 10, 11 o'clock at night. It had to be like 10. I was like, you know what? I need a break from cleaning. I need a break. I've been doing a lot all day, every day. I need a break. So I was like, what did I do? I stocked up the refrigerator with drinks and stuff and little stuff like that because I'm thinking I'm finna be here to drink the shit. I had Kool-Aid, tea, lemonade, all that shit in there, stocking the refrigerator up, thinking I'm actually finna eat this stuff and drink it within this week, thinking I'm actually about to do that within this week. So I'm like, I need a break. So my boyfriend, he's like, you want to go with me and just ride around doing what you do? I'm like, yeah, I'll go with you. I want to ride around with you. 10 o'clock at night. What am I? I'm 33 weeks pregnant in like 4 days. Yeah, 33 weeks pregnant in 4 days at that point. So, or 5 days. Yeah, 33 weeks and 5 days at that point. So I'm like, yeah, I want to take a break. I'm cleaning up and stuff. Let me just get out the house. So we just riding around, and I have the headache comes back times 10. Like, it was to the point where I was shaking, like, yeah. And on top of that, he didn't make it no better because he made me bad. So I was extra, like, yeah, the headache was bad. Like, my blood pressure was through the roof, and I already knew it. I couldn't wait to get home, so got home. They had me been monitoring. My OBs had me monitoring my blood pressure since like the 3 weeks I had told you before. So I went home and I checked it, and I was like, okay, it was super high. I wish I had the picture of what it was and like the paper. They had me writing on the paper to log it, how high it was. I wish I had it because it was really bad. It was like 190 something over 140 something. It was really high. It was super high. And I was like, okay, it can't be that high. Maybe the cuff, something wrong with the cuff. So I waited 10 minutes and I did it again. And it was still super high. I went down a little bit, but it was still super high. And then I waited another 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. And then I did it again. And it's like the top number was high and the bottom number was like still high, but not as high as it was. So I took pictures of all three of them and I wrote them down and I, separated what time they were, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes. And then I took a picture of it and I called my mom. I was like, if my blood pressure has been this high for this many minutes, this high for this many minutes, and this high, how high it is now, should I go to the hospital or should I wait? And she was like, go to the hospital. So I'm just like, okay, I'm finna go to the hospital. I was gonna drive myself to the hospital because I was mad at him. So I was like, I'm gonna drive myself to the hospital. Ended up, he drove me to the hospital. They took my blood pressure and it was still super high. I was shaky. I'm thinking that I'm just gonna stay the night or something, or maybe just stay for a little bit till they can get to go down and then go home. That's what I was thinking. That ain't what happened. I stayed in there the whole time. I stayed in there till Monday. From Wednesday to Monday. I stayed in there the whole time. And they wanted me to stay another day. I said, oh no, I'm ready to go home. They wanted me to stay another day. They wanted me to stay till Tuesday. I was like, I'm ready to go home. But, so I went in there thinking, getting checked. Went to a little triage room thinking the triage was on the labor and delivery floor. It was a different part of it. It was like the triage of labor and delivery. So I'm over there. They monitor me. They put me on the monitors. I wish I had that. I wish I had filmed that, but I didn't film that. I filmed when I actually got into a room. So they put me on the monitors to monitor him and his heartbeat and my blood pressure and everything. And my blood pressure had started to go down, but I don't remember what made them keep me. I don't know. I had told them about the preeclampsia and about they wanted to induce me. The high risk OB wanted to induce me. So that's probably what made them keep me, but I don't really know what made them keep me if my blood pressure had started to go down. I don't know what made them decide to keep me. So they moved me from triage to another room. It wasn't the labor and delivery room itself, but it was like a waiting room until I get to labor and delivery room. So I stayed in there from Wednesday night till Friday afternoon, night time, like 8 o'clock Friday night. That's when I stayed in there till, and they finally moved me into the labor and delivery room Friday night, like 8 o'clock, like I said. So Wednesday I'm in there. I couldn't eat nothing. I didn't eat at all. Like she just said, I don't even think I could drink anything at that point. I couldn't eat or drink anything when I first got in there. I don't think I ate or drank anything. I think finally the next day, Thursday, like in the afternoon is when they let me eat. That's when they let me eat. I think. It had to be. I don't remember. I just remember I got to eat a sandwich, and then after I ate the sandwich, I couldn't eat no more. And then, yeah, it was Thursday. I got to eat a sandwich. And then I started feeling like after the sandwich, like 12 o'clock, noon, I ate the sandwich, couldn't eat no more after that. Had like water and ice and stuff. And I was mad too. They kept bringing in guest trays. And I'm just like, bruh, y'all can be bringing in food for one person and then not bring food in for me and think I'm like, bruh, I'm hungry. Y'all got me on this street, no diet, no eating, NPO, no liquid at all. Like, I ain't like that. And you bringing in guest trays and shit. I gotta watch other people eat that's in here with me and I can't eat. So, let's see. Thursday, I'm still in the hospital. I came in Wednesday, like 12 o'clock at night. So basically Thursday morning. So basically Thursday. So Thursday there, the whole day just goes. I get to eat a little sandwich at like 12 o'clock noon. I get to eat a little sandwich at like 12 o'clock noon, and then I get like my little visits from my peoples. They actually they let it was two. I'm pretty sure they would have let all three of them in, but they just came at different times. My boyfriend was there. He had left and came back Wednesday. He left and came back. So my boyfriend was there. My mom, she came. My dad, he came. He sat up there. They all came at like different times. So, but two of them were in the room at the same time together. So I'm sure they would have let all three of them, but they all just came at different times. So they came. It was just like a normal day. I'm in the hospital, whatever. They had me on the monitors still. They had me on 24-hour on the monitors. And they were checking his heart rate, checking my blood pressure. My blood pressure was still high. It actually went back up. It was still pretty high. So, yeah. And then, let's say, like, late Thursday night, like, after everybody had went home, it was late, I started feeling, like, slight cramps. And I was like, I can't tell if these are contractions or what. But they were just like slight cramps. They were like period cramps when they started. I was like, I can't tell if they're contractions or if I'm just, I don't know, I'm just hallucinating. So after that, the next morning was Friday morning. The doctor comes in. This doctor, this OB, I hadn't seen him because where I went to, they had you met all the doctors in case it was somebody else delivering. You met all the doctors. This one I hadn't met, but he was at the place I went to. I just never met him. So I was like, and I was real mad about that too, because I wanted a female doctor so bad. I was like, because that's who I had been speaking with most of the time were female doctors. I spoke to a male doctor once. The whole time, a male doctor one time. The rest of them were all females. So he comes in, and he was like, and he checked my cervix, and he was like, I think I was at 1 centimeter by then. And he's like, are you feeling the contractions? I was like, yeah, I'm feeling them. And he was like, okay, so what we're gonna do is put a Cervidil in. So they put, is that what they put in? A Cervidil? I can't remember. They put something up there. They put a Cervidil up there because it wasn't a Foley bloom. It was a Cervidil. They put the Cervidil up there to, widen me, make me dilate. They put that up there like that morning. It had to be like 7 o'clock in the morning, maybe 8, 7 o'clock in the morning. They put that in, and maybe an hour after that, I started to feel the contractions more. Like they was hitting. Like, but what I wanted to do birth naturally. That had been my plan. Like everything else that was happening wasn't a part of the plan. I thought I was gonna go to my due date, or at least another week. I thought I had a little bit more time, but that didn't really happen. So I wasn't really prepared for it. But that's one thing I really wanted to do. That's one thing I really wanted to do was do a natural birth. I didn't want no epidural. That was my goal. No epidural at all. So, and it was like, for me, it was more of a mind thing. I don't want an epidural. I don't want an epidural. You're stronger than that. You're not going to get it. That's really how I got through the contractions. So, did that. Dealt with them contractions from 7 o'clock till the next day till I had him. So 7 o'clock in the morning till the next day. Maybe it was, I would say I was in labor for 12 hours. Maybe 12, 13. I don't know, because like I started feeling the contractions like Thursday night. So I don't know. Maybe 12, 13 hours I was in labor for. So, I did that. Thursday, then Saturday, the Cervidil. So, Saturday night, the whole night, them contractions started to hit extra. So, they ended up moving me from out of that room to my actual labor and delivery room, the room I would actually give birth in. They moved me into that room, and they took the Cervidil out, and they started me on Pitocin. Now, at first, the Pitocin really wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad at first, but as the night went on, I started feeling them contractions more and more, and they started coming like faster and faster. And I don't know, for some reason, it really, I don't know, I guess I'm stronger than I thought I was. Maybe if I had been in labor longer than what I was, then they let me, then maybe I would have probably wanted an epidural. I always said it wasn't to just no epidural at all. My goal was to not have one, yes, but if I couldn't take the pain, then I was gonna get one. That's what it was. It was like, it's like it is what it is if I can't take it, but I really don't want it. So that's what it was. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like it was just the mindset of I didn't want one. The mindset of I didn't want one kept me from not getting one. Because every time, like, a nurse would come in or the CNA would come in, I'd be like, she'd ask me how I'm doing, am I okay? I'd just be like, yeah, I'm doing fine. Like, I was taking them contractions like a G. I was like, I'm doing good. I'm fine. Like, she was like, what's your pain? The pain in my mind mentally was maybe like a 8 or a 9. But I was handling it so well. I was like, it's a 3. It's a 3. I could deal with it. In my mind, it was an 8, but it was also like I could deal with the pain. This isn't as worse as it gets, and I know it's gonna get worse the more I keep going. So she checked me. I didn't like to be checked because that shit hurt. Like, if y'all wondering, it hurt. It hurt. Getting checked, it fucking hurt. It felt like they was reaching into my fucking soul. That's what it felt like. It's like they was snatching my soul out through my cat. That's what it felt like. So let me tell you the difference though. The difference between the male doctor checking you and the female doctor checking you. The female doctor checking you, there's an upside. The bitch got smaller fingers, she littler, she petite, she got shorter fingers, so it ain't gonna do what the man doctor gonna do. So, and she a girl, she knows don't be doing no extra stuff. So I'ma just say that. I didn't like for them to check me at all, but I was more comfortable with the female checking me because it didn't hurt as much. Let me tell you about the male doctor. When he checked me on Friday, that shit, like, he checked me I think twice, and it hurt bad. He was a 6 foot tall man with some big ass fingers. That shit hurt bad. Like, it hurt bad. I was literally kicking his ass. Like, I was kicking him, like, because that's how bad the pain was. Like, I don't know, it was like my hands, I was trying to grab on stuff. My mom was in there at one point when he checked me. I grabbed her hand, and I was just, like, holding it so light. But my feet were kicking the fuck out of him. Like, I don't know. It hurt bad. Let me just tell you that. So, back to Friday. I'm in the actual labor and delivery room now. And, the contractions start picking up. They were picking up because I'm on Pitocin now. They took the Cervidil out. I was still 1 centimeter dilated. They took the Cervidil out. I'm on the Pitocin. It's getting later in the night, and my blood pressure was just like shooting up because people kept calling me. They were blowing my phone up, and every time somebody called me, my blood pressure went up. And my nurse was like, "You need to just put the phone away, put the phone down. You don't want to be on magnesium. That shit. You don't want to be on that. It's bad for you. You're not gonna feel good. You're not gonna be able to, you get on that, you're basically fucked." What she was saying, because your blood pressure keep going up. If you don't calm down and relax and put your phone down and try to actually relax, you're gonna you know, they're gonna have to put you on some medications and you're not gonna like it. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put the phone down. I was like, turn the light off, just turn the TV on. And was like, just gonna try to sleep. I'm gonna try to sleep through the contractions. And I did a pretty good job of trying to, like, I would go doze in and out of sleep during the contraction. I did a pretty good job, I think, of doing that, considering how bad the contractions were. Like I said, mentally, I was so focused on not getting an epidural that I wasn't trying to feel the pain. So I think I did good, but I was just dozing in and out of sleep. My boyfriend finally came. At that point, every time I had a contraction, I had to pee, like super bad, like couldn't hold it. Every single contraction, I had to pee really bad. So I had to have him help me get up out the bed every time I had a contraction to go pee. And literally every time I would get up, because how far the bathroom was from the bed, like by the time I got to the bathroom door, I was starting to pee on myself. Like it was bad. And imagine having contractions every 10 minutes or maybe every 5 minutes, and you just have to pee every time, and the bathroom is like way across. And plus, on top of it being way across, I'm still hooked up to all the monitors. So I had to unplug all the monitors and take it with me to the bathroom on top of that. And then on top of that, I got this long ass gown on. I'm 4'9". Them gowns aren't made for me. So I got this long ass gown on. I got the damn IV shit. I got the shit for the monitors. I'm holding all that. The bathroom's like way over there. So I'm holding that, trying to get to the bathroom. And then, finally I get to the bathroom door. I gotta swing that bitch open because I'm holding everything. I gotta swing that bitch open, flip the fucking light on the side, and I just start peeing. Like, I'm peeing. Like, just by that point, you're just peeing on yourself. You just start to pee on yourself. So, and imagine that you gotta do that repeatedly throughout the night. You gotta do it repeatedly throughout the night, every 10 minutes. Imagine that. Every fucking 10 minutes, you gotta go get up and pee because your shit getting squeezed like that. So, that was fun. So, then, I definitely labored longer than 13 hours. If I started Thursday night till Saturday, I definitely labored longer than that. I really don't know how long it was. It was a while. It was a little minute, but I'm just going to say 13 hours, maybe 14 at the most, going through natural labor. So Saturday gets him. Saturday gets here. It's the 11th. That's the day he was born. So the nurses and doctors come in and they're just like, look, his heart rate keeps going down every contraction. That had been the problem with the contractions. That's what I didn't mention. That had been the problem with the contractions. Was every time I had a contraction, his heart rate would go down. And they were concerned about that. They didn't want me to do natural labor. They talked to me about that on Friday. Because that's when I had contractions. On Friday. Like, that's when I started to feel them. Before he put the Cervidil in. And he came in and he was like, we're going to probably have to have a C-section because his heart rate keeps going down. And I really didn't want that. And he's like, do you have any questions? I said, if that's what I have to do, then that's what I have to do. So I really don't want to, but that's what I got to do. But he ended up saying, okay, we're going to try natural labor. We're going to do that. We're going to try it for a couple hours and see what that does. We're going to induce you. So, yeah, that's the little backstory to that. Saturday comes, they come in, they're saying his heart rate is still going up and down every time you have a contraction. We're going to have to have a C-section. It was maybe 7 o'clock in the morning when they came in and told me that I was going to have to go back for a C-section. I don't remember. But it was in the morning time. I feel like it was like 6. I don't remember because I don't know because I feel like I had him at like 7, but I think I had to have him at 8. It was like 8:10. I had him at like 8:10. That's what I'm thinking. So it was 7 when they came in and told me that. So I'm like, okay. I was really upset because like I was hoping they checked me one last time to see how far I was because I was thinking I think that if I was far enough they were gonna let me keep going naturally like I wanted to. That was my plan the whole time. I wanted to go natural. I think they were gonna let me do it if I was progressing far enough. So I think they checked me. I was still 1 centimeter. I had been on Pitocin all night. I had got off the Cerdil. I was on Pitocin. I had contractions all night. They was hitting, but I was still only 1 centimeter, and I was like 80% effaced. 80% effaced. So they just like, yeah, we're gonna have to go back for a C-section. I really didn't want one. That was really unplanned. That was more unplanned than me saying I'd get an epidural. That was really unplanned. I didn't want to be cut open. I had a fear of needles. I didn't want the needle in my back. The main reason I didn't want the epidural. So I'm just like, all right. But at that point, I'm just like, all right. If his heart rate keeps dropping, I don't wanna, risk it, and I'm not getting nowhere as far as dilation. Then I might as well. So they take me back to the room, and it took. When I say, like, they did a spinal tap on me, the epidural spinal tap is the difference between an epidural and a spinal tap. They did a spinal tap on me, and it hurt pretty fucking bad. Now, with me, I'm 4'9", and I think I got scoliosis. I don't know, and like I told them, I don't really know if I got it, but I'm pretty sure I do. Like, I've always had back problems. My back, it's always been kind of fucked up. So they was trying to put it in the right spot, and they were just missing. It was just going on the right side of my back, and it was just really bad pain in my back every time they would stick me, and they had to repeatedly stick me because they kept getting it in the wrong spot. So, and that just made me tense up. So everybody in the room's like, do like this, curl over like this, and I'm just like, I can't do that. Y'all is sticking me. This shit hurt. Like, so finally, I'm just like, you know what? I look at my labor and delivery nurse, because she was in the room. She came back in the room with me, and she's standing in front of me while I'm like curved over trying to let them put the epidural in my back. So I look at her, dead in her eyes, and she was like, look at me. It's okay. Just curl over and take a deep breath. And I just look her in her eyes, and I was like, this was like, she was so sweet. Like, she was the best, one of the best nurses I had. It was 2 of them. One of them, she was dope. I loved her. And then her. So I looked her in the eyes, and I was just like, okay. Took a deep breath, and I just curled over, and I looked down at the ground. And then I closed my eyes, and finally, they got it in the right spot. Immediately, boom, I start to feel like the tingly sensation. So they get me to lay down, and they try to put the catheter in. I don't know. They was trying to put the catheter in. They couldn't do it. They had the doctor come in. He put the catheter in. I guess because they were saying how small I was. They were like, she's not only small on the outside, her insides are small too. Basically, that's what they were saying. Basically, TMI, but that's what they were saying. So he got it. He figured it out and got the catheter in. So then that's when everything was actually getting started. They put me on the monitors, check my heart rate, check his. So then they ask you, what's your birthday, do all that, your first, last name. Okay, then I finally get numb. They push on my stomach and say, can you feel this? They push on my legs and say, can you feel this? And I'm like, no, I can't feel it. So finally, they bring my boyfriend back. They put a little chair. They put the curtain up. It was like a clear plastic curtain, and then another curtain on top of that, a blue one, so you couldn't really see. So they put that up. Boyfriend's sitting here in the chair. I'm starting to shake really bad. I'm like, is it normal to shake like this? And they were just like, yeah, that's normal. Your body's gonna do that. And They got the anesthesiologist right here just to make sure I'm straight. Do I need any more medications? All that. So I'm holding his hand and I'm like doing like this, shaking. So yeah, get that did. And then finally, I start to feel like them pushing. It felt like they were pushing on my stomach. And then I started to hear like the suction noise. So I guess I was cut open. I didn't even realize they had started. It just felt like they were pushing on my stomach. I didn't even realize they had actually cut me open already and started. And then I hear like a little cry, like a little and then that was it. He didn't say nothing else but a little And they're like, do you want to see him? And I was like, yeah, I want to see him. So they put down the blue curtain and the white curtains up, and they just throw him up like that. And he was so tiny. He was so small. Like, he's small now still. Like, he's he's a big boy to me, but he was small. He was so small. Like, he was really tiny. He was really tiny. He was really light skinned. And then, you know, they put me back together basically, putting all my insides back inside, and zipping me up. They took him over. They had the NICU team over there getting him, cleaned up and together, putting him on the oxygen because he needed oxygen when he first came out. Of course, because he was premature. He was born at 34 weeks and 1 day. So they put him on the oxygen and everything. And my boyfriend went over, he took pictures and all that. And then they wheeled him around in the little thing. I don't know what you call it. The little thing, the little box they put the babies in when they're premature or when they need like extra air or something. You put them in the box. I don't know what it's called. But they wheeled him around to me so I can see him. And he was just so cute. And I was just like, I'm a mom, bro. Like, if you had told me the start of 2021 that I would have had him, like, I wouldn't have believed you. If you had told me that I would have been pregnant, I wouldn't have believed you. It's just, to me, it's crazy the fact that as soon as I moved into my own place, like the next month after moving, I found out I was pregnant. Literally a month to the day that I moved in, I found out. That's fucking crazy. So they took him to the NICU, got me all fixed, took me back to my labor and delivery room until they could transport me into another room, into the postpartum room, until they could transfer me over there. So I'm like, is it normal to be, if they don't tell you this when you get a C-section, they don't tell you this, but you gonna itch like fuck. Everything itched. Everything. Like, everything. Like, not like awesome, you can't help it but scratch type itch. Like, it was really bad. And I'm like, is it normal to be this itchy? And she's like, oh yeah, it's normal. It's gonna wear off in a few hours. I was like, bruh, this shit was terrible. Like, and then on top of that, I ended up having to get magnesium anyway. The stuff that the lady didn't want me to get because my blood pressure was so high. It was still really high after I had him. It was still really high. So they put me on that. So I'm out of my fucking head, scratching like fuck, like I'm drowsy. I'm scratching. And she was like, we got to get you to drink something. We could start you on something so you could eat soon. So, like, they gave me ice chips at first. I don't know why, but when they gave me water, I literally choked on the water. Like, how I didn't choke on ice, but I choked on water. Like, I was literally coughing. Like, it felt like my throat was so dry. I don't know why. Let me know if you know why in the comments, why the ice didn't make my throat dry, but the water did. Let me know if you know why. So, I did that. I'm in there basically out of my head because of all the medications. I'm out of my head. Scratching. I'm like dozing in and out. Everybody, like, my dad came to see me. My boyfriend was there. And I'm just, like, it was just terrible. That was terrible. I don't put that on my worst end. Like, that was bad. The scratching, the itching was super bad. It felt like I was about to scratch my skin off and I couldn't care less. It was that bad. And what made it extra bad is it lasted the whole day, like till the next day, till the next morning. That's when it actually wore off. She gave me Benadryl, and that made me extra drowsy. So the magnesium was already doing its job, making me drowsy. Then she gave me Benadryl. She was like, "This is gonna help." That shit didn't help with the itchiness. It just made me tired. So she gave me that. They took me to my postpartum room. I basically slept the whole day. I was like in and out of sleep. People kept coming in and out trying to talk to me. Like different nurses, different people in the building trying to talk to me. Congratulations, this, that, this, you gotta do this, and all that type of shit. I'm like in and out of it. I don't know why they didn't talk to me when I was actually in my right state of mind, but yeah. I finally, the next day, Sunday, I finally got to go see him. I wasn't well enough to walk yet. They tried to make me use the bathroom when I first got up before I went to go see him. I couldn't use the bathroom. They had took the catheter out. I couldn't pee still. They wheeled me to the NICU to see him. I held him for like an hour. Let me tell y'all this. When I came back, I was really dizzy. But yeah, I was really dizzy. So I went back to the room. That night was like, so after that, Monday came. Monday I went home. And went home Monday. And I felt really bad having to leave him in there. And I knew I had to leave him, but yeah. And I guess that's all for my story time. But I gotta tell y'all, I wanted to do a name reveal too, because I don't think I ever said his name throughout any of it. I don't think I said his name. I think I kept calling him Baby T. But he's asleep. This is Baby Tamarius. This is Baby Tamarius. And he's a month old now. He was born on December 11th. And he just turned a month. And I guess that's all I gotta say for the video. I guess that's it for the video. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Turn on all post notifications. I'm gonna try to post more. And let me tell y'all, moral of the story is don't get pregnant unless you're actually ready to. If you're a teenager, think it over. One thing I will say is this entire pregnancy and hospital experience traumatized me. A lot of stuff happened during my pregnancy that I really wish on nobody. A lot of stuff, the whole hospital experience, amazing as it was to actually have him and see him, was the hospital experience in itself was really unexpected. It wasn't what I wanted, and I don't regret it because I got him out of it, but it was more of a, it just wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't what I expected. It wasn't what I intended to have. But if you are in this situation where you're like, I don't know, just think it over. And if you're not in that situation where you're like, I don't know, and you're just like, you don't want to have this happen, be smart about what you're doing. Just all I can say is just be smart. Be smart about what you're doing, because you don't want to have it happen and then it's like you regret it. I don't regret it, but it was very traumatizing. And I don't want another kid for right now. Like, I'm happy with him, and I don't want another baby for a little minute. For at least maybe a year or two, I don't want another one. Longer than that, if I wasn't another person involved, I would say definitely like 4 years. Like, that's ideal for me. But also, I do want him to have like another sibling close to him. So, I kind of think about that. But as for right now, it wasn't what I wanted. The whole experience in itself was very traumatizing. Yes, it was a happy experience of my life, but it was also the most traumatizing. So please, please, please think it over before you decide to do anything. Be smart about what you're doing. Use protection. Any kind of birth control, just use it and really be smart about it. I might tell you like everything that happened for you to kind of understand what I'm saying more. Maybe a story time on that, but just really think about it. But yeah, that's the end of this video, and I'm gonna show y'all the little postpartum body or whatever. This this her, this her. She this her. She got two stomachs now. This her. And I'm gonna tell y'all something else. I actually was like 106 pounds when I had him. I actually dropped back to my pre-pregnancy weight within 3 weeks of having him. I went to I back to 96 pounds. I was 96 pounds. So I'm back to my pre-pregnancy weight. The only thing I'm trying to work on now, because I dropped the weight, is I still eat like I'm pregnant. I still eat like I'm pregnant, so I need to work on that. And I actually want to tone my stomach up because I'm not gonna leave her looking like this. She can't look like this. I gotta come back snatched. It's hot mom summer. Like hot mom summer is approaching, so I gotta be ready. But yeah, that's all for the video. This is a really long video. I'm sorry, but I'm happy that you stayed and watched the whole thing. So me and baby T are about to go cook because I'm hungry. And I'm gonna put him down because he's sleepy. He fell asleep in my arms. He wasn't asleep when we started, but he fell asleep. So like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that. Turn on your post notifications. I'm gonna start posting more. Comment some ideas for me to post. You know. Alright, y'all. Bye.
Didn't seem so bad. You just put in a